Hello there, Kaoru Sayama desu, and welcome to my review of Yakuza Kiwami 2. So, as you can see, I'm dressed up as a new character that is introduced in Yakuza Kiwami 2, and I will talk later about her. Clearly, I didn't like the character because I had all this trouble to try and look like her, but Yakuza Kiwami 2, so I will say that for me, this game, on top of being amazing, I feel like I don't need any Yakuzas after this because the game really closes up the story that you have seen so far, uh, and you don't feel like you need to see more. It is a really nice conclusion to Kiryu's story, but we will talk later about that. So, Yakuza Kiwami is centered on Kiryu, of course. This game has 3 extra chapters, the Majima Saga, where you can once again play with Majima like you did in Yakuza 0, but only for 3 chapters. Uh, Majima Saga is basically a prequel for what you are seeing in Yakuza Kiwami 2. And about the story. So, in Yakuza Kiwami, you had this heartbreaking story where everyone that Kiryu loved basically left his life. He only has Date, which he met in Kiwami, and Haruka. Haruka is basically the only family that he has left. And now you basically have Dojo Clan is a mess. You know that after Kiwami and Terada took Kazama's place, and he is basically murdered at the beginning of the game, and the Tojo clan is in shambles. Kiryu will try to negotiate with the Omi Alliance because if the Tojo clan and the Omi Alliance don't unite, there will be a great war between the 2 clans. And of course, you have the face of the villains, which is Ryuji. Ryuji is really intent, not, I won't say it's on the war between the clans, but he's intent on taking down Kiryu because he's the dragon of Kansai and he doesn't want to be the dragon of Kansai, he wants to be the dragon. So he doesn't want, he says all the time that there cannot be 2 dragons. So he has this obsession of taking down Kiryu because he's the dragon of Dojima. That's the only reason. And the story will be basically, once again, Kiryu trying to solve all this. He was the 4th chairman for like, what, a few minutes, and I feel like he's always doing stuff for the Dojo clan. Like he's still in the clan, he's a civilian officially, but he's always returning, not returning because he's not a part of the Yakuza, but it feels like he's always returning to the Yakuza, trying to solve all these problems. Once again, you will see the Millennium Tower go boom, because that's a thing now. We all like to see the explosions going up on the Millennium Tower. And the story will actually present you with some plot twists. So you also have a new mafia that is introduced here, which is the Jingwon Mafia. And they are the ones behind the war because of a situation where the Tojo clan basically murdered with the support of the police, but not really. They just wanted the Jingwon Mafia to disappear and the police couldn't handle them. So the Tojo clan basically murdered the entire Jingwon Mafia, but Kazama was involved and he didn't kill all members of that mafia. So of course there are survivors, and of course they are now out for blood. And you have this so funny plot twist because you discover that Kiryu was also in that situation where Kazama was when they were attacking the Jingwon Mafia, because Kiryu was like, what, 15 years old, and he decided to just follow Kazama to one of his really dangerous works, because that's a really nice idea. You know, Kiryu go big brain moment at that time. And you will be introduced to new characters like Sawara. Date-san will be called to help Sawara, which wants to finish this case about the Jingwon Mafia. And you have Kaoru. Kaoru is from Kansai, from the Osakan police, I think that's what they said. I'm not sure. They call it so many things that I'm not sure at this point. But Kaoru will be introduced, and she will have a lot of plot twists associated to her. So, of course, like I suspected from what middle game, she is one of the Jingwon survivors, but not exactly, because her mother is the one that survived that raid to the Jingwon Mafia, and in another plot twist, and I also suspected that she's also Sawara's daughter. So because Sawara, after helping her mother, they basically developed a relationship, and because he thought it was better, he let her daughter go to an orphanage instead of taking care of her. Why? But okay, but options, I guess. And in other plot twists, my reviews always have spoilers, but I think these things need to be talked about. You will also discover that she's half sister, because they share the same mother, of Ryuji, because Ryuji is also a Jingwon survivor, and he is a survivor because he was present in that raid, although he was just a baby. And he has memories of that night. How? He was so small. I don't even remember what I did a week ago. How does he remember a raid when he was just a baby? But Ryuji apparently has a great memory. I feel like this game is really centered on plot twists, because you also have the plot twist where Terada basically betrayed the Tojo clan, because for 26 years he planned this revenge with the other Jingwon survivors to basically destroy the Tojo clan, destroy the city, destroy everything, because they wanted revenge on the Tojo clan. And you see that even his murder was planned, and it's really a mess of plot twist, this game, but it's really well done. One thing that I pity is that Haruka has no participation at all. I mean, I get it, the story doesn't demand, because Haruka was introduced and was the central plot of Kiwami, and now she isn't. But I felt like they introduced her for the first, 2 chapters, and then they say, Uncle Kaz has things to take care of, so Haruka is going back to the orphanage. That's basically it, and she only appears at maybe the last 2-3 chapters, so Uncle Kaz can be daddy for a few moments. I really like the new characters. I like the story. I liked how they developed Kaoru and Kiryu's relationship, because you see these police and former Yakuza, you see that she has some, because she's known as the Yakuza huntress, she has these, she's always careful, she doesn't trust Kiryu, but she starts to see that he's not your regular Yakuza. In fact, he's not supposed to be a Yakuza anymore, right? But Kiryu cannot abandon those habits. And they will have this slow building of their relationship, the moments where they have 2 moments where they kiss, it was something really surprising for a Yakuza game, I must say, because they aren't focused on romance. And I really like the way they develop the characters, the relationship between them. And I know they will destroy it all in Yakuza 3, which will leave me really pissed off. It already leaves me, and I haven't even seen it yet. But because I really loved Kaoru's character, I loved their relationship. I mean, you can see the end of the game, if you don't see the post-credit scene, the end of the game is they basically choosing to die together. I mean, how can you top that off? How can you top it? You can't. For Majima Saga, you understand what happened until the moment that you're seeing. You have Ibuchi, which is the villain for Majima Saga, the final boss that you fight, and he's voiced by the same voice actor of Dio, which was really interesting. I really like that voice actor. Unfortunately, I don't remember his name. I never know his name. And I really enjoyed trying to give gifts to Kiryu. It's really difficult to have the 3 million yen to give the last gift to Kiryu. I didn't do that. But I did all the extra fights. With Kiryu, I did all the side quests that I could do. I didn't do the Colosseum stuff. I tried, but at a certain point you only unlock certain battles by growing up your level, and I wasn't able to do that. It was too much grind. You already fight too many dudes. I don't need to fight more. I'm sorry. The bouncer missions, the reason is the same. The bouncer missions are difficult because you can't use healing items, so you only have your health, and when that health disappears, you fail the mission if someone kills you. And I tried to do some, but I did what? The first one, tried the second one, died, never tried it again. Once again, bouncer missions, fighting more dudes. I already fight dudes enough, okay? And you have the Majima construction. I'm sorry, I'm sure that there is some interesting story about Majima construction, but I wasn't interested in the Fort Condor's minigame. I'm sorry. It was pretty easy because I collected a lot of dudes for Majima construction and pretty powerful units, but it's so boring, really. It's so boring. It's not like it wasn't easy, at least for what I tried to do, but no, it's not for me. When I feel like I'm doing a chore, that's not a game for me. A game has to give me enjoyment. If I'm not enjoying what I'm doing and it feels like a chore, I can do chores at home, at least it's more useful. And of course, what I did up until the end, and actually made me spend more time in the game, was the Cabaret stuff. I did all the leagues. At the end of the leagues, you have Kanzaki is basically defeated. You see Yoda-san. Yoda-san was working undercover for Kanzaki to try to bring him down. You have Yuki. Yuki is the owner, and of course you know that this Yuki is the #1 hostess that you had in Yakuza 0 in the Sunshine Club with Majima. And if you defeat all leagues, Majima appears to say that Kanzaki is defeated and Buono, which was your host, was also corrupt, so Majima will take over as your host. So it's really fun to see him hosting the Cabaret Grand Prix. You have the final battle against Kirara. I don't remember who Kirara was, but I suppose it was one of the hostesses that you also get on Yakuza 0, but I don't remember her. And she decides to fight Yuki one last time because she wants to prove she's the better hostess. And that's your final battle, and everything is done. I really enjoyed the Cabaret. I partnered with all the businesses. I did all the sub-stories. The only thing that I didn't do for Cabaret, Kirara, after you defeat Kirara joins you as one more hostess. And I'm sorry, I wasn't about to do more grind with the club when I didn't have objectives. Just so I could go on dates with her and unlock her sub-story. That's basically it. I think, that's a shame. I think that I didn't do the last, I didn't finish with Granny White. I don't understand. That appears randomly throughout the game, and I think I was supposed to do more requests for her, I suppose, because she gives you these tomes so you can learn new abilities. I wasn't able to find her any more time, so I think she gave up on me, or I needed to just walk around town so she would send a message to Kiryu requesting something. I don't know. But really, you have so many Easter eggs, characters appearing from other games. You have the Obatarian. She does something similar to what she did to Majima on Yakuza 0 here to Kiryu. The thing that you have in common with Yakuza 0 is that you feel like you spend as much time in Sotenbori as in Kamurocho, because Kiryu is always traveling between the two towns. As for the fighting mechanics, the fighting mechanics is what you already know. You use, like in Kiwami, you use ability points to upgrade your abilities, to learn new moves, and the combos square, triangle, was it X to dodge? So it's the same mechanics. What you do different is you don't have the styles here. You have always the same style, and when you enter hit mode, if you have all your hit bar full, when you enter hit mode, you enter this kind of beast mode, okay? But it's not a different style, but yes, it's a kind of beast mode where Kiryu picks up heavier objects. His attacks are much stronger, much slow also, so it's more like a beast mode. And when you fight bosses, you have these feel the heat moments, and it's really fun because you always have a different cutscene, a really epic finisher for the boss, and it's really fun. The mechanics are really simple and are really intuitive, so they work really well. Also, we cannot forget the moment that we had in this game where Kiryu punched tigers. Let that sink in. And that's it. It was a really fun adventure. Unfortunately, I didn't spend any time almost on the karaoke because you took Baka Mitai from me. And I had an awful version of Baka Mitai on Kiwami, and the best version stayed on Yakuza 0, so... And now I have no version of Baka Mitai, and honestly, I did play at least one time all the songs that are available on the karaoke. You can recognize one or two. I think you still have Rouge of Love. But the songs, if you are looking at the cutscenes behind, you know that they mean something to Kiryu, they represent something to him. But apart from that, the music's, they are not really interesting. The soundtrack though, this time it captured more times my attention, especially in boss fights. It really captivated me. It's not, once again, it's an adequate soundtrack, it's not brilliant, but this time I felt like I was captured and captivated more times by the music. So this is basically it. If you have other thoughts, other moments that you want to share, epic moments from Kiryu, heartbreaking moments, share them in the comments. You know, I'm always on my Twitch streaming games, so feel free to drop by. Tell me your favorite characters, tell me your thoughts, tell me what you think, what do you think will be my impression, because I will play the next Yakuza games also. Tell me your favorite Yakuza game, and you know, like this video, subscribe if you like this content, and I will see you next time.